Yo, welcome back to Cage Calculated. Today, we have an absolute masterclass of a video idea that I cannot wait to share. It is something that is very near and dear to me. How much I would like to have a beer with every UFC fighter that's on this list. I just picked out the most popular ones. I kind of just picked names, the ones that I really wanted to talk about. And we have a tier list. The top is the best. The worst is the bottom. We are getting hammered. I mean, that's the best you can possibly do. We are getting hammered. That is elite. We are cutting up, telling jokes, having laughs. That's just a good tier below the elite. A good time, having a couple drinks, just, chilling, having a good one. No, I don't want to hear your business proposal. That's someone that's going to come up to you, try and share their life story with you, trying to get you to invest in some pyramid scheme that you have zero interest in, but at least you're having a beer. So it could be a worse situation, but it's a negative situation. And then we are drinking the evil beer of sobriety. That is the worst possible scenario. On this list, it means that I pretty much don't want to have a beer with you, and I'd rather be stone cold sober directly after meeting you. So, without further ado, we don't have UFC going on this weekend. There's going to be no predictions, so I figured this would be kind of a good segue into the next week, and then we'll be seeing the Houston card soon. So, let's get it started. Let's first talk about let's go for that. It was necessary. Yuri Prohaska. I'm putting him in the we are cutting up category. He is a super funny dude. He's going to say little funny things that I just find hilarious. The way he says things and the intensity that he says everything with is an absolute, it's just funny. He's just a funny guy. Every other day he comes up with some little video and it's just the funniest thing you've ever seen, whether it's him, shadow boxing in some like mythical looking forest up in Poland. It's unbelievable. But, the reason he's not in the elite of the elite, because I'm a Yuri guy. I want to see him become champ, but I don't have him in the elite of the elite because when you're drinking with somebody, you want to have a good time. You want there to be laughs. You want there to just be like a casual kind of like we're hanging out type of vibe. Yuri is so intense that he's just going to like take everything either as a competition or take it just way too literally. And I don't want to have to like over explain what I'm having to explain like I am right now. So I'm going to go with him just being cutting up, telling jokes, having laughs, just because he's just a funny dude without even really trying. I forgot to mention at the very beginning of the video, I'm also going to be trying to predict what all of these fighters would drink, what their drink of choice would be. And I do have Yuri listed as an IPA. I think I personally have IPAs every now and again. I'm not a super huge fan of them, but they are good when it's a good one. They do taste like piss water. They can be really hoppy. They can be really bitter. So they're not like the greatest of all time, but they're really intense. They have really intense flavors and they get the job done just like Yuri. I feel like that fits his personality and he would get hammered off an IPA. Next we have, Diego Lopez, man. I'm putting him in a good time category. I feel like the language barrier isn't great to have to try and communicate with a translator to him, but he's a super fun ball of sunshine type of human being, always has a smile on his face and just lights up a room. So like, I would personally want to go talk to him, have some drinks with him, kind of just chat it up, have a good beer with him. And I have him as a Modelo man. Feel like Modelo, pretty self-explanatory. Feel like people who drink Modelo, like what they like. They enjoy the lime. They kind of enjoy the more Mexican beer type of taste. And I feel like Diego Lopez kind of fits that mold of, him liking Modelo. So I would expect him. It's a lighter beer, so he's not wanting to get too intense. It's just kind of like a fun, casual beer. And, if he didn't have the English barrier, it'd probably be we're cutting up category here. Through Bronx, we have Charles Oliveira. Yeah, dude, I know I just talked about the English barrier kind of being a problem, but I do not care. We are getting hammered with Charles Oliveira, and he is getting hammered off of a Corona. I had him drinking Corona. It's just like a beachy, fun, light beer that you can drink with a lime. It's just everyone wants to talk to the guy drinking Coronas, and Charles Oliveira, just everyone wants to talk to him, pick his brain. He's everyone's favorite fighter, and I don't know, man. If I even just got the chance to meet Charles Oliveira, it would be insane. But to have a beer and to get hammered with Charles Oliveira, that is a peak male experience. And, you can't do much better than that. So we're getting hammered with Charles Oliveira. It's pretty simple, pretty obvious, pretty easy. And he is drinking the Corona with lime. Next, we got Khamzat Chimaev. Yeah, that's an easy, we're drinking the evil beer of sobriety. He has said himself that he hangs out with terrorists. I don't. I personally choose to hang out with a different crowd, and I have him drinking goat's blood. I feel like he's the type of person to do that. he's kind of terrifying. And I don't want to go somewhere and him start screaming Allahu Akbar and saying he's going to kill everybody. I'm good. Hard pass on that. Kamzat Chimaev, I hope you're, not the terrifying human being you are, but, to be the champion fighter, maybe you have to be, and I don't really want to have a beer with him. So, hard pass. But someone that I do want to have a beer with, this could be above the Charles Oliveira, but I just love Charles Oliveira. Everyone loves Charles Oliveira. Tai Tuivasa, drinking buddy, would go absolutely insane. I'm ripping a shoey as soon as humanly possible when drinking with Tai Tuivasa. I know he hasn't won in a long time. He's 0-6 in his last 6 fights, but my kids are going to ask me, hey, Quinn, hey, Dad, what was Tai Tuivasa's championship run looking like in the UFC? And I'm going to sit down with tears in my eyes and say it was magical. It was beautiful. Seeing a almost 300-pound man climb up onto the top of the cage and take a beer, pour it into a shoe and chug it is an absolute masterclass of degeneracy mixed with just pure awe. It's magical. To have the opportunity to have a shoey with Tai Tuivasa, and I have him drinking Coors because I think really he's capable of drinking whatever he wants, whatever's handed to him, he'll pound it back. But I feel like that's just a perfect beer for him. It's a nice light beer. You can chug it. You can put it in the shoe. It's not going to eat you up too badly. Tai Tuivasa. If you ever see this video, which I doubt you ever will, but please, I would love to have a shoey with you. It would be an elite experience. Next, we have Kyoji Horiguchi, who just won the other night against Amir Albazi, and looks like just one of the better flyweights in the UFC right now. And I love some Kyoji Horiguchi. I hope he fights in Japan. I have him drinking sake, and I have him in a good time. I think he's just one of those guys that, you have a good conversation, you lead the conversation being like, wow, that dude just has it together, super knowledgeable of the fight game, super professional, and just does his job and does it so well that it's like he's an impressive figure. And I would love to have a beer with him and just kind of be like, talking to like somebody that just knows so much ball that you just want to keep picking their brain. And I think that would be such a good time. I take some shots of sake with Kyoji Horiguchi. It would be an elite experience. Ilia Topuria, normally outside of what's going on the circumstances right now, he'd probably be like a good time. Yeah, we're drinking the evil beer of sobriety. Look, I have to factor in what's going on. I do not want to hear about your wife and kids. I'm here to have a beer. I'm not here to be a shoulder to cry on. And, look, it's a shitty situation. I hope that it gets resolved. And I think it's starting to get resolved where he'll be fighting again. But this dude's life looks like it's in shambles right now. And I'm really not qualified to sit there and talk to somebody who could kill me, about how to fix their life. I know he knows what he's doing, but at the same point, that is a horrible situation to be in, and I'm not qualified to be a part of that. So we're drinking the evil beer of sobriety. I'm declining an invitation from Ilia Topuria, but I normally have him listed as like a red wine type of guy. I feel like he's a classy guy, likes classy cars, likes living in a nice home, likes just the roses, it's kind of just like a classy feeling. So, red wine, I feel like that's a pretty good overarching drink that he would have on a regular basis. Next, we have Michael Chandler. Conor McGregor, get your ass back in the cage. We need to fight on the White House card. Yeah, dude, I'm good. He's gonna pitch to you why he wants to talk, or why he wants to fight Conor McGregor, why he feels qualified. Dude, you shouldn't even be ranked in the lightweight division, in my personal opinion, much less be fighting Conor McGregor for a huge payday. I know you've been waiting around for it. You wasted like 4 or 5 years of your career waiting for it. It's over, dude. I don't want to hear about it. I do think, though, he would be like, I would take the invitation, but it'd be kind of like a tentative, like, maybe it's okay. Decent human being. I mean, I think he's a good guy. I just don't know if I really want to hear about, all the things that could have gone right in his life now. Now he's at the bottom of the lightweight division and, probably not going to get the big money Mac fight. I do have him drinking Sam Adams. I feel like he's a patriotic guy. He wants to support his country. He's an American wrestler. I feel like Sam Adams kind of fits that mold, kind of just a patriotic American beer. Next, we have Derek Lewis. And again, I've said it 100 times, but he's my GOAT. And Derek Lewis, if you ever, have the opportunity, take a small, little, frail white boy like me out drinking. I would love that opportunity. Derek Lewis, you are the Black Beast. You are my GOAT. I have him drinking red wine as well. I feel like he's the type of guy, we hear about him and his wife a lot. We get to hear about how much he likes, doing that. I'm not going to repeat a lot of it, but I feel like he's a pretty sensitive guy when it comes around the edges. I feel like he's really intense, has the knockout power, but when it comes down to his personal life, he does love and care for his wife, which just makes him so much more of a GOAT, dude. This dude has it all. And I feel like he just enjoys a glass of red wine. And I'd have a wine night with Derek Lewis. That'd be elite. So next we have Sean Strickland. And yeah, he's a business proposal guy as well. I don't want to hear about your conservative views. Oh, dude, I'm gonna go knock out this Fluffy Hernandez guy, and I'm just like, I'm good. I like Fluffy Hernandez, by the way, but I don't think Sean Strickland's a bad time. I just think that he's going to try and pick a fight with the nearest people around him. And I'm not a fighter. I didn't train in any sort of martial arts, and I would get my ass beat by anyone he would try and talk to. I'm good, dude. I'm not trying to get whooped. So I don't want to hear your business proposal, but I don't know if I would decline necessarily if he invited me to go drinking with him. I do have him drinking PBR, another American style beer. Wants something that's a little, represents his views, gets you fired up to drink. And I feel like he's very proud, to drink PBR and is going to let you know about it. Next we have Sean O'Malley, and he's going to go right in the same category as Sean Strickland. I don't want to hear your business proposal. Look, I think Sean O'Malley is a cool human being, but I don't want to hear about I don't really know what I would talk to him about, personally. And, we cracked the jokes about him sitting in the chair and watching his wife, but like, I personally just don't have anything to relate to him about. And, feel like he's the type of dude that like you would have your back in a fight, super, like kind of fights like a street fighter, but like as far as like a drinking buddy, I don't really know what I would talk to him about. And, Sean O'Malley, cool guy, but, I don't want to hear your business proposal or hear about how much you have not been gooning in your last camp. So Sean O'Malley, I have him drinking tequila soda. I feel like he just wants something to get the job done, get him hammered, and, something that's not too fattening. He's a pretty skinny, tall guy, so I feel like tequila soda would fit his vibe. Next, we have, Jack Della. We got Jack Della Maddalena. Aussie King. Yeah, we're getting hammered with Jack Della. He just looks like one of the boys, man. He just looks like one of the guys that would just like, hey man, you want to go drinking tonight? Absolutely. Like he just gets you fired up. Another JDM title run is going to feed families, and I love JDM. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's just a cool dude, just a nice guy. And I have him drinking. What do I have him drinking? I have him doing some like whiskey shots and then maybe like a Miller High Life for 3. I feel like he's that type of guy. Like he kind of fits the Miller High Life idea. Definitely some whiskey. I think he can put down some whiskey shots, and he can get you hammered. And I feel like he's the type of dude that'll get hammered with you if you just say the word. Next, we have Kayla Harrison, the only female fighter on this list, and I have her as a good time. She's kind of the same as like Yuri Prohaska, where she can be kind of intense, but at the same point, the push-up competition at the bar where you say Kayla Harrison beats anyone in this entire establishment in a push-up competition. I mean, look at her arms. Like, dude, I've got big arms, right? Her arms just absolutely mog me. And I think she would just be an awesome, like, kind of party trick human being where you can just be like, no one can out-strength Kayla Harrison. She's just such a like athlete. She just looks like one. I do have her drinking Michelob. It's kind of like the athlete's drink, something that you have just casually. You're not trying to get like blasted off of it, but it's just something that you're having a beer, being able to cut up, and you can still like, go run if you need to on a Michelob. So I feel like she'd be a good time, but maybe a little too intense for all sorts of occasions. Patty Pimblett, dude. Patty Pimblett. We're cutting up with Patty Pimblett. Scousers don't get knocked out. Yeah, I mean, I love English fighters, but at the same point, I would get sick of the accent pretty quickly, and I can hardly understand him as is, so it would kind of be a problem. But the dude's funny as shit. He says the most witty lines, you little weasel, you little helmet. That's, it's hilarious. The dude's super funny, but, I have him drinking Guinness. I feel like he's a Guinness guy. Those English guys love to split the G, and, I feel like I'd split the G with Patty Pimblett, but, maybe not the elite of the elite like some of these guys up here. We're cutting up, cracking jokes, having a great time, and I feel like everybody would have a great time with Patty Pimblett. Alex Pereira, Shama. Yeah, he's going as 4 as well. Again, pretty intense, kind of the same reason as Yuri, very intense human being, and he only has really one word he likes to say, and that is Shama. So I don't really know what it means. I don't even think he really knows what it means, but I have him drinking. This was a hard one for me to try and figure out, but Bud Light Lime, pretty solid beer. I don't really like Bud Light, but Bud Light Lime's pretty solid. I feel like that's something that like, he looks like he would like something with lime, maybe even like tequila soda with lime. Anything with lime. He seems like a lime guy. So I'm going to go there. I think Alex Pereira is like super funny. He might hit on your girlfriend just because, we know about the Tracy Cortez masterclass he put on. So, I'm going to stick with the weird cutting up. He'd be just super funny, like really like without trying to be funny. And, he'd be the one on the punching bag at the bar to try and set the high score, and he'd do it without even trying. So he just kind of just a fun experience, kind of a different experience. And I would love to have a beer with Alex Pereira. Colby Covington is our next on the list, and he's going to go in the weird drinking the evil beer of sobriety. At one point, he might be even like a good time or like a business proposal because he was good. Yeah, dude, he has barely fought in the last like 3 or 4 years. He's lost both his fights that I've watched. And he still, is pretty polarizing as a personality, and I feel like he's going to try and pick fights with everybody. And he's just like a less funny Sean Strickland to me. We're drinking the evil beer of sobriety, and Colby Covington is drinking Keystones. He wants to get something really light, and it's something that he wants to stick to and get into an argument about, oh, dude, Keystones are goated. Keystones suck. I had a Keystone the other day. Absolute worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. It is literal American piss water. Like, I cannot over exaggerate enough how badly it tastes. It is horrible. It is awful. Do not drink Keystones, and I feel like Colby Covington would be the one to drink Keystones. Carlos Prates. Yeah, we're cutting up. Carlos Prates. If you're not having a drunk cigarette with Carlos Prates, you didn't do it right. And Carlos Prates is definitely a Hennessy drinker. He wants to get hammered. He does not care about his overall body health. He cares about knocking you out. He cares about having a party, getting hammered, and having a cigarette. That's all the dude cares about. It is an absolute masterclass of a human being trying to be a degenerate. I love it, and I would want to cut up with Carlos Prates. He would put you in some fun situations too. I feel like, you'd end up in some interesting ones, to say the least. I know he rides a motorcycle, so, that would be great. Drunk driving the motorcycle would be possibly not the greatest idea, but, Carlos Prates, if anyone can do it, he can. He's the type of dude that can, masterclass it up. Islam Makhachev. He's going number 4. And the reason being is because he probably doesn't drink. He's more focused on training. Brother, check the grappling. Like, he's funny, but he only has a specific amount of lines that he can say before it becomes like, okay, maybe he's trying to like check my grappling and I don't have any. So maybe you do some like pick out the biggest dude at the bar and then you try and like get him to wrestle him. Maybe you do that. But I have Islam Makhachev drinking gin. I struggled. I have him while he's drinking just water. He doesn't probably drink. He's probably never drank in his life. He's so focused on training, but I feel like he's a gin guy. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good one. That's probably like the one that I'm least confident about is Islam being a gin guy. But I know he had matcha and he hated it, so I don't know. Whatever. I know too much ball, I guess. Arman Sarukian, yeah, he's a white wine guy. I feel like he's white wine and he's also a good time. Arman's starting to grow on me. I wasn't a huge Arman fan. He's kind of a little bit of a boring fighter in my mind, but his personality's funny. I've been seeing him on some of these streams, and this dude is hilarious. The stuff he was saying about the one guy saying that like, oh, he needs to keep his shirt on because, the women don't like it. That was funny. The dude also like eats a lot of food. I feel like he's the type of dude, like, you go out, you have a good time, and he's like, all right, guys, dinner's on me. We get a huge feast in front of us, get the pig out, and then, have some drinks. Arman's a cool dude. I think a good time. He's starting to move into the weird cutting up territory. I think that, he's starting to get close with Islam and like how much I'm starting to like the guy. He is hilarious. Finally, we have the GOAT. One of the GOATs. He's not a Derek Lewis GOAT, but Alexander Volkanovski. This is just the better version of Arman to me. The GOAT form of Arman. He is going to cook you absolute masterclass meals. He is going to be able. You're going to hunt on his land if he chooses to do so. He is definitely a Budweiser guy, is what I kind of put for him. I feel like he likes just the classics. And he likes something that's just going to be, the good beer. You never know that it's going to, that it's not going to lead you the wrong direction. And Alexander Volkanovski would just give you such an amazing time to just like go hunting, be able to make some great food, grill, just have a ball down in the land under, or in the land down under, excuse me. That would be elite. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you liked the rankings. I feel like this is a pretty solid list. Might even do a part 2 to this. This is one of my favorite videos to make. And, if you agree, if you disagree, all of these fighters, all of them except probably this bottom 6, I would love to have a beer with. And if you ever see this, please take me up on the offer. I would love to. Come on down to Mobile, Alabama. We'll show you a good time here in the South. Oh yeah, baby. But Appreciate y'all watching. Like if you liked the video. Subscribe. We're going to be doing some more predictions next week for the Houston card. We got a special guest that we're going to be having on the Cage Calculated channel. But without further ado, see ya!